I'm very surprised with how well this little mini truck has handled this entire trip. Oh wow. So, we did a little backtracking today down Route 1 back to Morro Bay because this is the only gym in the area. And I called ahead and they offer guest passes, so I'm gonna get a quick workout in and a nice shower here at this Anytime Fitness. There we go. Since that was a small gym, it was actually pretty nice. The shower was like real private. Actually one of the nicer gym showers that I've been able to get clean at. But today we are continuing up on our last little stretch of Highway 1. I don't think we're gonna finish it out today before we hit the closure. The closure is near Limekiln State Park or something like that. It's about 3.5 hours north of here. So I don't think we're gonna make it all the way there today, but make it about halfway, find somewhere to camp and cook up some nice seafood for dinner. So I'm gonna go down to the fish market here in Morro Bay, see what they have. I think honestly I'm gonna do some of this thresher shark because I've never had it before. Thank you very much. Have a good one. Fresh shark. Excited to see how this tastes, but I'm gonna have to look up how to cook this because I've never made it before. Nice and tucked away in the fridge. So I just gotta run to the grocery store on my way out of here. Grab a few more things for cooking with that shark. And to cook that shark, and we're hitting the road, continuing north. Hopefully find a cool campsite on some cliffs somewhere, just down Route 1, probably on the side of the road or something. But onward. All right. Didn't really need to get much honestly for this recipe. I had a lot of the stuff, which is what I'm trying to do with a lot of these things because I don't have a lot of storage, obviously, in the back of the mini truck. So I'm trying to keep these recipes as minimalistic as I can, while also still trying to make good food. So from here, we are hopping on, in my opinion, the most beautiful section of Route 1 from, I think it goes down from Baja all the way up to the Olympic Peninsula up in Washington. And this section from where we're at in Morro Bay up until Big Sur in San Francisco is one of the most beautiful stretches of this highway. And I love driving it. There are some hills though that I'm kind of worried about, but it shouldn't be too much of a problem, but we'll see. Here we go. This is pretty much it. There is no other road pretty much for the rest of the entire drive if you're sticking along the coast in California. Route 1 is kind of it. So this is the road that we will be on for the rest of our trip. So the construction of this highway started in 1919 and they estimated that it was only going to cost $1.5 million to build, which is absolutely crazy that a road this long and through this rugged of terrain can be built for $1.5 million, but I guess money was a lot different back then. Today it would be over $1 billion and it would take 40 years. But the federal funds were appropriated to it in 1921, and San Quentin Prison Camp set up 3 temporary prison camps along this road to provide all the labor for it. And those prisoners were paid 35 cents a day and their sentences were reduced for the labor that they provided for the road. And it's pretty amazing because once you get up here on this road, it's all mountains and it's all hilly and it's right along the coast, just kind of hugging these mountains, driving through them. And this stretch of road that we're driving on was some of the heaviest construction that went on because of how rugged the terrain is. They used 70,000 pounds of dynamite to blast through the marble, sandstone, and granite, and more than 10 million cubic yards of rock was blown away. There are 33 bridges along this road, and it is by far one of the most beautiful road trips that you can take in America. It's a little bit cloudy today, but on days where it's sunny, it is so beautiful. And I'm getting passed by so many cars. I feel so bad. All right, so we are not far from where we're going to be camping tonight, but there is a seal and sea lion little viewing area over here, so take a little pit stop here before we make it all the way up to camp. Not a lot of people on the highway today, which is nice, but I think the reason is because it's closed kind of just north of here. And like I said, this is the only road, so there is no detour, so people are just driving up, turning around, and coming back, which is essentially what I'm going to do. I don't hear any seals, though. Usually they're pretty loud. Maybe there's none out today. Oh, never mind. There they are. I figured out why they're not noisy. They're all sleeping. So there you go. That was elephant seals. And there are two rocks out there completely covered in birds. And there are so many birds on them. But we've only got a little ways till camp, so let's go see if we can find somewhere. All right, we are coming up on the hill just before camp. This is the biggest hill of the trip so far, I think. We are cruising. Look at that view though. Beautiful. So we have got the pedal to the floor. Going just about 40 kilometers an hour. Come on, you can do it. But we should be pulling up on a spot that we can hopefully camp here pretty soon. I hope it's not too much in the clouds so we can get some of the view, but looks like we might be in the clouds, which sucks. It's all good though. I think this is it right here. This is where we're gonna try to stay tonight. Skirt. Oh, and we got the nice flat spot up here in the corner. Beautiful. Now, if there wasn't clouds, you'd be able to see for miles in that direction. Oh, you can kind of see it. I'll get out. So on a nice sunny day, if you're parked up here, wow, look at that. You can see pretty much all the way down the coastline. And then the sunsets here, I mean, are spectacular, but it's a little bit too cloudy right now, so you can't really see too far. Oh, wow, that's really steep. It's kind of scary. But yeah, we are really up here. Still beautiful though. And what a place to cook some fresh shark too. Hopefully it clears up in the morning so I can show you guys more of the view, but I'm gonna try to find the most level spot to park this bad boy. All right, so I think right here feels pretty level, and that way when I open my back door, poof, that's my view. I don't know though, there is a ton of space up here, so, and no one's up here because the highway's closed, so I can pretty much move it wherever I want to later if I need to. But this is good for now. All right. It is pretty chilly up here too, wow. So I think before I do anything else, from what I was reading online with cooking this thresher shark, is that it is a very lean cut of meat, and it's recommended to soak it in milk. And it's not just for fun or for any kind of flavor, it's just because since it's so lean, it gets pretty dry, so if you soak it in milk before, it helps to keep it moist. So the things that I read online said to soak it for at least an hour. So I'm gonna go ahead and get that started before I do anything else. Look at that. Beautiful. And the view has cleared up a little bit since we got here. Hang on, I'll show you guys after I get this covered in milk. Set that up in a safe place. But you can kind of see more of the view now out of the back. Get some cinematic shots with the flowers. I will say it does suck that Route 1 is closed up the ways from here, but that just means we're gonna have to come back and do it again whenever it opens up, whether it's this summer, this winter, and finish out the rest of this trip all the way up Route 1, because I just don't think I'm going to be able to make it to those mountains. I don't know if I'm going to be able to make it up to San Francisco, just because it's just a little much not being able to drive on Route 1 for this little mini truck to handle. I also have no service up in this spot. I have an hour to kill on that steak, and I have no idea what to do with myself. Ooh, look at that. A little feather. It's kind of cool. I've collected so many trinkets on this trip. Actually, I've only collected 2. My sand dollar and my feather. And then I also have that Garfield painting somewhere. I don't know where I put it though. Doesn't get much better than this. So a lot of the times when I'm on the road by myself, I try to avoid spots that don't have service, especially when I don't have my Starlink, which I kind of wish I had here. But I will say, it is kind of nice to just sit in places sometimes without music, without anyone being able to reach me, and just kind of be by myself and be a little bit more present than I usually am, because I'm so consumed by social media in all facets of my life. My job is social media. When I'm not doing my job, I'm sitting on TikTok or Instagram or playing video games. I feel like a lot of the times I forget to kind of slow down and take in what I'm doing and kind of be a little bit more thankful for this life that I get to live, sitting up here on the coast of California by myself. And I'll let you guys kind of join me in it for the next 30 seconds or so. That was nice, but it's been about an hour, so this little fillet of shark should be ready to go. And I think I'm gonna do a broccoli kind of side with it, so let's get to cooking because I am starving. So there isn't much prep that goes into the shark over there, but one thing I do have to prep is the broccoli. And I think that's the only thing that I have to prep, actually. We'll get that out, we'll get that started. So it really does kind of suck not having an oven, not being able to just bake stuff, so I kind of have to just pan sear everything. I guess it's not the worst. There we go. Honestly, pretty simple for the broccoli. Take our shark, take it out of its little milk bath, and then we'll just rinse that off under some water. Pat that dry. And we'll get it into another fresh bowl. Then we can go ahead and get this bad boy nice and seasoned. And for that, we need some lemon juice. You can use fresh lemon juice, or like me, just use this bottle. Some soy sauce, going right in on the top. A little bit of rice vinegar going on top, not too much of that. I'm gonna get it with some ginger, some ground ginger. Just a little bit of this all-purpose seasoning. Make sure to get that on both sides. And then for a little bit of spice, just a touch of red pepper flakes. There we go. That is pretty much it for our shark seasoning. And now that we've got that, we can kind of just get started cooking. I'm gonna try to cook both of them at the same time. Don't know how well that's gonna work, but we'll see. And I think tonight we're breaking out the big boy pan. Cook up that broccoli. So first thing I do before I get started cooking either of these is I got these pine nuts to add into my broccoli. It's kind of like a little garnish. But I gotta cook these up real quick before I do anything else. So we get a little bit of oil in this pan. Get the fire on that. I'll pack it nice and hot. Throw the pine nuts in there and cook them for just about 2 to 3 minutes. Basically until they start to get some color, and then pull them out. Just get them nice and toasted. There we go, just kind of like that. Got a little bit of color on them. Take those off. Set them aside in this bowl. Then we can get started on the rest of this. So get some more oil on both of these pans, just a little bit. And since this pan is already pretty hot, I'm just gonna go ahead and throw my broccoli in there now. We just kind of want to cook those until they turn nice and bright green. I think this other pan is nice and up to temp, so we can go ahead and throw our shark fillet on there. And according to the directions I read online, we'll let that cook for roughly 5 minutes-ish on each side. While we wait to flip that, we're gonna get our broccoli seasoned up, just simply with this all-purpose again. This thing is a lifesaver. It's great on pretty much everything. That's seasoned, tossed in there nicely. And then now that that broccoli is kind of cooked and nice and bright green, add in some of our garlic. Let that get nice and fragrant for about 2 to 3 minutes. And I think I might have left this cooking for too long. This fire is super hot. A little bit crispy. But we'll cook that for right around maybe 3 to 4 minutes on the other side. But the final thing we got to do to this broccoli is add some chicken stock, but I didn't feel like buying a big old box of chicken stock. So I just got some water and then a cube of bouillon. Get some water in the pan, a little bit of this bouillon, mix that all in there. Making a little bit of broth basically. And then we'll just let that kind of cook and tenderize and get that cooked. This pan is too slippery. I gotta get rid of this pan and get a new one. I'm gonna lose something one day. I almost just lost my whole steak. Now we can get this out of the pan and then just let it rest while we wait for our broccoli to finish. There we go. Should be good. Nice and tender broccoli. Get that out. Top our broccoli with those pine nuts and then some grated Parmesan. Now we can eat. And the view with dinner ain't half bad either. Nicer if it wasn't cloudy, but. Oh, that is so good. I've never cooked broccoli this way. Oh, I've always just got it nice and crispy. Wow. It also got mixed in with the juice of the fish, so I don't know if it's actually just the broccoli or some of this shark, but there we go. You're not supposed to eat a lot of shark. Since it is a predatory fish, there's a lot of mercury in it, so shouldn't be eating all the time, but it's so dense. It's not quite like steak dense, but very meaty, but very good. Beautiful. You can still kind of see the water. It's not as much as it could. Delicious. So now that dinner's done, I'm not really too sure what I'm going to do with the rest of my night, considering I didn't really plan for a night without service. Don't have a book, don't have a downloaded movie, don't really have anything to do, if I'm going to be quite honest. Might end up getting to bed pretty early tonight, but when I was out earlier waiting for the shark to be done in the milk, I did find this other point out here that had a pretty cool lookout. Don't know if we're going to be able to see anything, but I'll take you guys out there real quick. It's a little bit more exposed of a lookout, but walked over here earlier. Pretty crazy. I don't know how far out I want to step because I don't know how solid this is below, but look at that. It's absolutely stunning. Beautiful night for some shark on a cliff. The sun has fully set. It's already 9 o'clock. I have so many little hitchhikers from outside in my socks. And I have no service, so not really much else to do. But I do have this little Abraham Lincoln book that I haven't opened or read in a while, so might as well dig into that tonight. Best president of all time. I've read so many books on this man. If you ever get the chance, read his autobiography. It's really good. One of my favorite quotes from him that I have memorized by heart, and I'll leave you with before I go to bed, is the great mass of men were utterly unconscious that their minds or conditions were capable of improvement, which basically says no matter what you got going on in your physical life, going on around you, or in your head, it's something that can always improve. But that is just a quote that I remember from one of the books that I read on him. Anyways, I never use this light. My little fan light, I forgot I had it for a while. I'm gonna use that as my reading light. Read some of this and get to bed. Good morning. Slept pretty well last night. Wasn't a lot of traffic on Route 1, obviously, because the road's closed, so nobody was really passing through at nighttime. Oh wow, it's a lot clearer today than it was yesterday. Looks like there's a wall of clouds pushing in, but beautiful. And it looks like we ended up getting some neighbors last night. But today is the first day that I have actually the foresight to get some coffee. It's not regular coffee, it's just some Folgers instant coffee. But it's nice to be able to wake up and have some. Get the inverter turned on. I actually haven't used the 120 volt plugs on this very much this trip. And I actually don't even know if this power station is powerful enough to kick this thing on, heat me up some hot water. But we're about to find out in about right now. Yes, it is. It's on, it's warming up. This thing is kicking into overdrive though. Jeez. I don't even know if I have enough battery left to do this. It's going down, the percentages are going down by the second. We're at 14, 13. 12. I don't know if my water's gonna heat up before the battery dies. 9, 8, 7. Come on. And the battery died. So close to boiling too. Oh, or you know what? Might not be boiling, but that water's pretty hot. So I think today, once I finish this coffee, I'm going to right outside. I'm going to take you guys up that last little stretch of Route 1 that we have left to drive, and then turn back around and start heading back south towards home. I don't really know what else there is on Route 1 before it closes. It closes about 30 miles up the road. Hopefully something cool. Yeah, definitely not bad to wake up to.
It's a cool little rig you got there.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
It's a Japanese mini truck.
Mind if I take a look?
Yeah, no problem. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, no problem. What was your name?
Kale.
Kale?
Yeah.
Ryan.
Hi,
Nice to meet you.
Enjoy the rest of your trip.
Thanks, you as well. So that's Kale from Canada. They were going up Route 1, heading back to Canada, and didn't realize it was closed. So now they're backtracking back and around onto the highway. But yeah, not a bad spot for some morning coffee. Beautiful. I gotta say, this instant coffee isn't really that bad, but it does leave a kind of bad aftertaste in your mouth. I was gonna cook breakfast here, but I don't think I'm going to because I kind of want to see if there's a small business along the 1 that I can go into and get some food, because with it being closed for as long as it has, I'm sure they'd appreciate it. So hopefully we can find some little small shop to get some breakfast or get some snacks. But anyways, let's get out of here. So I still have no service, so I can't look anything up. So I don't know if there's anywhere where I can get food that way down the 1. I should have asked that guy. But that is mission number 1. Find food. I wasn't so glad you'd be able to see the ocean off this cliff over here, but unfortunately it is. Going higher and higher. Yeah, I guess we're not going to be able to check out the views as much as I thought we would be able to, because the higher we go, and it's just been constant uphill for the last 10 minutes, the more we're getting into these clouds and the less we're able to see, so kind of sucks. And I did drive by a restaurant back a ways, but it was pretty close to where I camped last night, so I didn't feel like stopping right there. But worst case, once we get to the end, we'll just stop there on the way back. And I got a lot of comments on my last video and of the posts I've been making on my Instagram account that people think they could push this over or would roll over in any kind of wind. I drove through a few serious windstorms when I was close to the beach on the way here, and honestly I didn't even think about it for a second that this thing would blow over. And I'm going around these turns kind of fast, and this thing is pretty stable. I'm very surprised with how well this little mini truck has handled this entire trip. It's been very, very impressive. But I'm not gonna lie, even before this trip and when I was building this mini truck, I thought I was getting it in over my head. The comments were kind of getting to me saying this would never work, this is a stupid idea, why would you do this? It's so much smaller than your van, it's such a downgrade, which I knew. I never built this to be an upgrade for my van, I just thought it was gonna be cool. But it started to get to me that maybe this isn't gonna work, maybe it is too much weight, maybe the mini truck can't handle it, but I guess it's just a testament to you don't know until you try. And we are just crawling along at just under 40 kilometers an hour going up these hills. So glad there's no one else on this road. There we go, we're finally getting back out of that cloud layer. You can see the ocean now. It's off to the left there. Nice downhill stretch, or another uphill stretch, it looks like, across this little way here, but this is what I was talking about with this road going through rugged terrain. I mean, it's just hanging off the side of cliffs for the next like 70 miles. that wasn't closed, which is crazy. Black sand beaches down there. Kind of reminds me of the roads up in Alaska. But I am gonna be honest, the road is closed about 10 miles up that way. And I think we're just gonna be driving uphill back into the clouds again. So I think this is where I'm gonna call it. And this is gonna be my turnaround point because I'm also getting kind of low on gas. I mean, I have like 3/4 of a tank, but it's been chipping away. Every time I drive up a hill, I lose like a quarter tank. Turn around up here, head back, get some breakfast at that place, and start my journey southward. This is the end of our journey northward. We've already started our way back south, and I'm gonna check out a few places on my way back, but I think that is it for today. So if you watch all my videos coming up here, I truly appreciate you guys. I would not be able to do this kind of stuff, build out this mini truck, or do these travels without you, so thank you. Once I finish this, I'm getting out of here, heading south, so I'll catch you guys next time.